Hey guys, welcome to Breakout Wednesday. It's like 9:30 a.m. on the West Coast on for the 4th of Feb 2026. It's currently like about 12:30 p.m. on the East Coast. First of all, remember, there's no financial advice, no financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. The market obviously dumped for a couple of days in a row there. Stabilized a little bit, went up yesterday, stabilized today. And I just want to... There aren't that many shit hot setups this second, well, on the ASX. So, I'll go through a little bit of setups, but mainly, like, I think the best thing to talk about today is just the emotions that's involved with little short, sharp corrections like that, and the panic that happens. And I think, like, the market's got easy for gold traders and resource metals names and some uranium stocks and stuff, like, and there's been some people doing pretty well, and then this kind of ego gets a hold and they think it's easy. They think it's just going to continue forever. But then you get this short, sharp correction and it belts them, and you get a lot of people panic selling and kind of shitting the bed a little bit, And so I think the main point of talking about this is this, like, just keeping your wits about you and not thinking that you're anything special because you made some money and had some winning trades. Because in a bull market, that's what happens. It's pretty easy to win, but the trick is not giving it all back, hey? Like, and that is hard. Okay, I give a lot back, and it's hard to avoid it if you want to ride trends. It really is. Okay, but here's TAM, like this stock we've been talking about, massive move. Obviously, got out of most of it, but then the remaining position is like getting hell hammered. Okay, down here, and you can see, the emotions that this would kind of wreak havoc for most new traders and a lot of old traders, and they start panicking. And I guess I'm not saying that I'm immune to, like, all that, because I'm human, but I guess I've seen enough of it that, like, I kind of actually feel nothing anymore when the market's dumping. And to be honest, I'm not even looking at the screens half the time because I half expect these things to happen. I'm emotionally prepared for it. And it's just like the kind of, that unrealized profit, when you log into your account and you've got some position and you might be looking at it and it's up, whatever, it's up, it doesn't matter what it's up. It could be up $500 or it could be up 100 grand. It's irrelevant. It's all in perspective. But it's all bullshit. 100% bullshit until you exit that position. It is amazing how quick profits, unrealized profits, can be wiped, just absolutely obliterated from your account. And it's got to bear in mind that it's not until you sell that it's actually real. Otherwise, it's all bullshit, and you're really just patting yourself on the back when you're feeling good about it. Okay, you need to protect it, and so I guess it's hard to protect it though because I ride moving averages for the second half of positions, and so there's a catch with that. And it's the fact that I'm going to get hammered, and a lot of my profit, unrealized profits, are going to be given back. Okay, and that's why I sell a lot. At least half, sometimes 2/3 into strength. Okay, and so I'm trying to cash in on these big moves, like the TAM move where I sold most of it, not most of it, but about 2/3 into strength, and then the other third or half, I know that I'm probably going to give it back. Okay, but 1 in 10, 2 in 10, 3 in 10 times, I will get runaway winners, okay, and that will just keep going, and those pay the bills, and are just so profitable, it's ridiculous. Okay, and so I know the odds over the long run. I know that some are going to be runaway winners, and a lot of the times I'm going to have to give out unrealized profits, and I just know that that's part of the game. So I don't actually give two shits, to be honest, about all this, and I'm certainly not panicking or crying about it, because this is the stock market, and I know that statistically, 7 out of 10 times these unrealized gains are going to get hammered, okay, for that second half of the position. Okay, I hope that I got message across. This is the reality of trading, and it's hard to get it out of a book, isn't it? And this is the point of this video blog, so I can just crap on You know, I trade in and out my own money, and been doing it for so long now, and it's just I can crap on about what's in my head and the realities of the business. You know, um, now let's just quickly talk about some stocks I've been on about. CSC, okay, no shit's given with CSC. Okay, and so I'm still in it and really liking that position. Okay, before we kind of talked about around TAM, yeah, let's just move on. I know I talked about Zero quickly last week. It's down 14% today so far. You know, it's battling with AI challenges, and it's just, you know, this is the one I was in here, and I was out most of it about here, I think it was. You know, I had a good win, but like, I mean, I would be in a big loss now if I just held on to that. And yeah, shit, guys. I mean, it just goes to show like how quickly your gains get taken away, why you need to manage stuff, and holy shit, I mean, it's just a bloodbath in certain tech names. Okay, it really is. This thing could crash down here to the low 60s, easy. Just wouldn't want to bet against that, would you? Okay, shit, it could crash back down here to $18, really. You know, nothing is off the cards in the stock market. It really isn't, you know. It's just, you say things like, oh, this could fall another 50%, and people think you're crazy. Okay, but this is the stock market. Like, look how volatile shit is. Like, you know, the craziest things happen all the time. And if you're a trend trader and, you know, I think having an open mind to the fact that anything can literally happen is pretty vital. Now, this quickly, IPH, I think it was Matt or maybe it was Adam, I'm sorry guys, who's posting about this in forum. I like this even more now, okay, because it's sold off again and that resistance held and it failed. Now I want it to come round, and it's going to give more time for those moving averages to base out for me, okay? So I actually like that doesn't lead a watch list. Maybe this is a really sick base forming here and it needs another 3 months. So put it on the watch list and see in 3-4 months if this thing grinds away and then comes up and tests it again, and then bang, suddenly you go from a kind of a D setup to an A setup, okay? Just by being patient and playing the long game and realizing that stuff can take a long time to set up properly, you know. Now, US stocks, okay, right, just quickly. You can't sleep on, I talked about this bunch, there's a whole, you know, thread on it on the forum. And, you know, I'm not going to say that I've, you know, great at timing, you know, Forex movements. You know, I've done a lot of it over the years, and I'm telling you, it's hard. But from a simplistic point of view, this is in an uptrend, and it's going up, right? And so it's kind of like when you're up shit creek at the beach and you're swimming against a tide, and like, yeah, you know, how hard is it, right? And so any US position right now, the current is working against you, and you know the value of the AUD that you just converted to USD in order to buy that US position. Obviously, the USD is devaluing, the AUD is going up, and so you know you just got a little bit more working against you for those USD positions. And that's not to say the AUD is not going to crack back down to the 200-day moving average, in which case the whole scenario would have flipped on itself. Okay, but I'm just saying that the general tide is up. And the trend, you know, general trend is up, and so I got to be careful personally with my US exposure, okay? And so what I'm doing is I'm limiting myself to one US trade at the moment, okay? And just you know, I might hedge it sometimes, or maybe I just take the risk sometimes. Depends on the position of the trade, you know. But I think that's, you know, it's how I manage it right now, and I'm just focusing on some Aussie setups because, you know, AUD is a good place for your cash right now, you know, it really is. And so, you know, compare it to a lot of other FX, you know, FXs. So now some US names just while I'm there, okay. There's heaps, like there's never a lack of US setups, and there's this thread here, like. Where is it? Yeah, here. You know, great thread, you know. Yeah, thanks for that, Mike. Boom. Yeah, I did see that last night, and so I'm waiting on the GPRE for earnings. You've got to check earnings before you place your entries. But just some awesome threads, like, you know, everyone's in here. It's like, well, not everyone, you know. but some of us are. Yeah, Adam had this sick post which I unfortunately missed, but there's no way. Like I'm just a busy guy these days, guys. I just missed seeing that. But there's no way in a million years that I would have not traded that if I'd seen it. Okay, and so, yeah. Look, if you sleep and you're busy and you get distractions in life, you're going to pay the price. You know, your bank balance is going to pay the price because you're going to miss these A+ setups. And there is this, like, I'm going on a tangent, but I think it's probably a worthwhile tangent. I was listening to this book the other day. It was like, it was like that Schwager book, and it was the new Market Wizards. It had that Peter Brandt guy interviewed, and I like him. He's a straight shooter, doesn't talk any bullshit, owns up to his losses. I think his name's Peter Brandt. Yeah. I'll post it later, but and he was talking about his edges in the market and how it's changed since the 80s, and he was saying that his biggest edge in the market is just flat horizontal bases, just ones like this that just go sideways for like 8 weeks. He doesn't like diagonal stuff. He doesn't like down sloping resistance lines. He just wants the nice flat bases, and then that is literally it. And I thought it was a really good interview with him. I listened to it on Audible, even though like I hate that Bezos guy, and I'm thinking of cancelling the Audible. Anyway, I'm rambling, but this is such a nice flat base. It's just so black and white, isn't it? Like just so tight and flat. And then let's just look at it since it broke out. NGL, decent candle last night, hey. And so it's just it's just so nice. It even has this little flush out here, like see how it's got your base and it flushes to the downside and rejects it, which is just, the Minervini in all his books, he talks about looking for flush outs, okay, looking for that before a nice move, it comes down, it will flush out the stops, and it will like fake to the downside, and it will trick you, and it will you think it's breaking down, but then it reverses, and it's just such a good sign that the next move will be, especially if it fakes, in the other direction against the trend, and then it breaks out with a major trend, and that's an A+ setup. So anyway, good, great post there by Adam, and it's and this is what it's about. Setups like that, like I shit you not, if I had a gun to my head and I could only do one thing for the rest of my life in the trading game, it would just be horizontal flat bases with blue sky above it. That's a perfect duration. You look for a flash out. I can't express how perfect that is. Relative strength of 98. Yeah. I'm probably going to print that one off and just put it somewhere so that I look at it every day and it just ingrains in my head. And it serves me right for missing a few days. I've just crapped on. Just quickly, I just want to show you a scan for the Aussie market that I like when the market has done what it's done recently. Just a 100-day Davis box, 7 there, filters, okay, above the 30 exponential and RS above 70, right? Okay, doing that on ASX, I've already done it here, right? So now I only have 23 names, okay, which is good. 23, I mean, you're a busy person, you can scroll through 23, can't you? And so, I like just looking at, because the market has had a mini correction, the certain sectors getting absolutely spanked, but what is not? Like, what is still sitting in a Davis box above its 30? Okay, what's still doing that? I mean, Blue Scope you can't look at because it's it's getting dominoes. I mean, if you're in dominoes, let me know on the forum. I'd love my level of respect will go up a bit if you had the courage to take that entry. We'll see how that unfolds, but I didn't, so I'm not in it. But just look at some of these names, hey. Just this one, it looks so strong, doesn't it? Just no shit's given about that correction. It's just sitting here, sitting right above its 21 exponential. Just looks like it wants to pivot there and go up, hey. And it's just a great little. Look at that. I mean, shit. That's a gold name. Oh no, it's not. I'm thinking about PDI, NGI, asset management. Yeah. So nice base on top of a base. Okay, remember the base on top of the base we had in CSC. I'm really rambling today, but if you look here, these Davis boxes. base on top of the base. I love those little ones. You know, you have a little fake out and then another base and boom. It's just like stacking blocks on top of each other. Like when kids are playing with blocks and, you know, if they're smart, they stack them correctly and all that. You know, it's the same thing. The foundations, you know, these stocks build big foundations before big moves, and it's important. Just like if you want to build a massive house. NSR, no. NWH, yeah, bit loose and shitty up there, isn't it? Ord, yeah, maybe. Titans, Orica for sure. You know, just such a nice uptrend, basing up there. It's just, this is a good scan. PDI, like this is this gold name that didn't, you know, it's still looking strong. We've talked about this a bunch of times, but it's basing up there. Peel maybe, you know. Anyway, this is a good scan. I'm not saying that it's finding millions of setups. Like SRG, so strong, hey. Like just looking at names that I just don't care about that correction. And obviously, you know, I filtered for, you know, SRL shit. It's going to break out again, isn't it? It's just so strong. Anyway, look at that, by the way. I posted this to the forum, and that's just a thing of beauty. I've talked too long. I've rambled and gone off on tangents, but I do believe I talked some truth bombs in there, and I hope some people get something out of it. And I hope everyone's going real well. Bye-bye.